Retro bloke, checking in.
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show.
It's the Retrogames show.
Because it looks a bit like a mushroom. Oh yes!
The Retrogames show.
Hello, yes, it is me. It is Jace at Retrogames. Yeah, checking the cameras. While I was saying hello, I'm checking the cameras are on because I'm not wasting that much breath. That was a big one. Yeah, it was a big one. Welcome to the show, all my retro gaming friends. We're a little secret club that not many people know about. We're proud of that, aren't we? We're proud of that. We're proud. Who needs people interfering and joining our club? Well, we're discreet. We should have a proper, like these clubs in Pall Mall. You know, we all meet up and we all chat over scotch about Jet Set Willie and stuff. I mean, it could happen. Could happen. We just need a venue where we can all just drop in and, you know, just hang out. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? You know, if we all lived in the same place. What the hell are you on about, Jace? He's lost the plot already. This is a record breaker. Anyway, that intro, I can't just use that once. It took me ages. Come on.
Retro bloke, checking in.
Yeah! Lot of fun. Thank you to is it Fred Harris? Fred Harris. Of course it's Fred Harris. Giant calculator. He needs a giant calculator. I'll find one for him eventually. Fred, if you're still alive, please get in touch. We would love to have you on the show. Okay, let's get the sheet. Let's get the sheet. Yes, welcome. It is the weekend. It's the weekend. We got there. Another week out of the way. And it's cheered up a bit. Not so much snow and cold weather. It's been all right. I've had a funny day today. We got a pigeon in the chimney. I don't know if any of you guys have chimneys, but if you have a chimney you can end up with a pigeon down the chimney and it causes a lot of hassle. Then this would be great if I could say to you I've got the pigeon out yet, but I have not got it out yet. Something to work on later. It could be a video game, couldn't it? Could be. There probably is a Spectrum game getting pigeons out of chimneys, and it's probably on Blabby, isn't it? Anyway. Relax. Overexcited. Another week. Let's go to the sheets. Thank you to everyone who has commented. Let's put up the runners and riders. Here we go. The right side. That side. No, that side. Is it? I'm still confused. Oh, no. Here they are. Ding. Runners and riders. Anyway, yeah, there you go. If you're new to us, if you're new to the show, all you have to do any time of day is comment on the show and you have a chance to win a prize. You don't know what the prize is, but there is a prize for a random person who comments. And it doesn't matter what you comment about, you can just say how much you find me incredibly attractive. That's fine, just put that in. You can put how much you enjoyed playing, you know, Mega Man X on the SNES. That's fine, it'll go in. I might not talk about it. Couldn't give a monkeys. No, I absolutely do. Anyway, breathing. Okay. Number one, it is Tapio. Tapio from Finland. He says, the fourth take when I said Tarpeli on Kamanen. I've lost it, haven't I? Tarpeli on Kamanen. He said it almost sounded right, but I have to watch the video back, get to the fourth one, and then listen to it. But anyway, that means this game is pants in Finnish. Tarpeli on Kamanen. I think the only way to get this confirmed properly, Tapio, is if you send me a little video. If you send me a little video of you saying it. And then I can stick it up and embarrass you every week like I do to James. Yeah, sorry mate. Sorry. Number two, Jabobbly Rob. He's loved the Mega Apocalypse soundtrack. We had Mega Apocalypse, the Commodore 64 running last week. What an amazing soundtrack. Rob Hubbard at his very best. But for him, his best soundtrack on the Commodore 64 is for Commando. Let's check out the music to Commando on C64. It's a good tune. It is a good tune. He also loves, and a lot of people love this because it was embedded because we heard it so many times. The Ocean Imagine load-in music. Let's put some of that on. Oh yeah, this music, as soon as I hear it, I just want to go and make a cup of tea. It's because, you know, I've got some waiting to do. Unfortunately, I associate that theme with walking out of the room. It's lucky I didn't just I'll go off as soon as I heard it. But I didn't, I stayed. He said it also, it's not just about the music, it's about sound effects. And sometimes the sound of games, like me and my, what is it, that game I play? Sidewinder explosions on the Amiga. It's a sound effect, but it just always blew me away. I love the sound of it. And he says the impossible mission quotes. Let me see if I can find some impossible mission quotes.
Destroy him, my robot.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great game on the Commodore 64.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
A lot of, to be honest, it was absolutely groundbreaking. It was one of them games that made Spectrum owners feel really jealous of Commodore 64 owners and their groovy high-res colour and animation. How dare you have decent animation and speech? I mean, it was great. I mean, it's a bit croaky now, but it was for the time. I do love, you know this, I love old computerised speech. Brilliant. Number 3, Gareth. Great show, keep it up. That's all he said. He's from Wales. He keeps it brief. And that's all that was needed. Thank you, Gareth. Still going. 4. This is someone new. Kieran Grace. And he's given us something to work with. First Specky game. Right, first Spectrum game. So this, I guess this was his first computer, he doesn't say. His first Spectrum game was Armageddon by Ocean. We'll do one at a time. Armageddon by Ocean. Check it out. Yes, a very early game. I think the first game on the Ocean label, and is their answer to Missile Command. And it's okay. It's okay. I mean, okay. And the other game he got, and this is it's one of them games I always look at it and think, you can't call a game that. you can't call a game that. And that game is Penetrator. Let's show it running. Yeah, Melbourne Housing Estate's answer to Scramble, Penetrator, a bit of a ropey, lumpy game, but it was all right. It was all right. It sold loads. I mean, I'm not surprised they were your first games, Armageddon and Penetrator, because they are very common, very easy to find, and they've got good. Well, Armageddon not so much, but Penetrator's got a nice cover, hasn't it? It's quite a lot of action in that. It's like, oh, this looks good. I'm going to play it. Anyway, he's got a bit of a story. He loved the game Track and Field. Who didn't? It was in our local arcade, Fun City. I've been searching, because we had a local arcade. I grew up in Bletchley, okay? You know so much about me now. I grew up in Bletchley, that's where Bletchley Park is. But we had an arcade It was called Fun City, and I have spent years trying to search for that arcade. I can tell you where all the machines were in the arcade. It's embedded. I used to go there every day. I absolutely loved the place. Bunking off school to go to Fun City. It was like mega, oh, you know, scrabbling around for change down the back of the settee, hoping you get one more credit on Domino Man. I've talked to you before about Domino Man. That was the second machine in at Fun City next to Battlezone. Oh, I've been there. I lived through the arcade era, and I'm proud of that. Amazing machines. They had an original Defender in there. They had a Scramble. They had a Sprint, not Super Sprint, the old black and white Sprint. Very, very groovy. They had a sit-down pole position. It's proper original era arcade coin-ops. Anyway, in that Fun City, they also had track and field. It's where I fell in love with track and field. I think I've also told you I do own a track and field coin-op. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Get over yourselves. Okay, I have a couple of nice things in my collection, and that is one of them, because I love track and field. Anyway, this guy, Mr. Grace, he also loved track and field. So he popped down to his local computer shop. That was Rams. He popped down to Rams, and he saw the game Olympics by CRL. It was £6. He had his pocket money. He said, well, I'm going to blow my pocket money on this because I love track and field. Now let's just check out. First, we'll show you a bit of track and field coin-op version.
On your mark. Get set.
The time, 9.45 seconds.
Okay, locks in your mind. Here's a bit of CRL Olympics.
Welcome here to the Olympic Games face-off between track and field and Olympics. Here we have the 100 metres. They've started. Watch them go. I think White's going to win. Yes, White has won.
Oh!
Okay, here we have track and field. The classic long jump. Probably my favourite event of all track and field. It's a nice clean one. Oh, yes. Eight, that's a really good.
8.59 meters.
And here we go on the spectrum. Here we go, he's going. Oh, incredible. Ooh. Here we go for the javelin. Another classic track and field event. It's going to be a long one. Oh, yes.
Distance, 86.59
Spectrum.
meters.
Not much to say about that. It's hilarious.
Get set.
Okay, 110 metre hurdles. How could they get this so wrong? Always tricky, always catch them a little bit. Oh no, super smooth, straight over all of them. Gonna win. Fab. Here we go. Yeah, this is a race, yeah. On the spectrum, completely obscuring the hurdles as we go past them. Okay, shot put. Last one. Classic shot put. 2 sections, spinning around, and then you see it land. Yes. And here we go. Wait for the spectrum to draw the... Here he comes. Oh,
Yeah, that's a disappointing £6. Bad luck. Number 5, Justin Wormlington. He liked that bit last week when I put really awful homemade covers. A bit of a, I've done it a few weeks now. A little bit of a, what do they call it? You have a load of photos in a row. Photos in a row. No, they don't call it that. You know, when you're looking at photos and they come one at a time. Gallery kind of, no. Slideshow! That's it, slideshow. Slideshow of games with really awful, homemade, terrible art covers. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun finding all those games. But anyway, he enjoyed that. And he said, just imagine if you had some of them covers on a PS5 game. And you know, if I wasn't so busy, I would have I really would love to have done this to this answer. Hand drawn, you know, a copy of a PS5 game, like Returnal or something. I just do my own blocky version of just me drawing the top, and then I merge the two on Photoshop, and then I make a mock-up cover with a homemade sleeve, and then I just go, yeah, what, like this, and they go bing, and then it comes up, and it's like, what the heck, that is a lump of crap. Yeah, but I didn't have time to do it. All right, I didn't have time. I wish I had of. I'm sorry about that, Justin. I would have liked it. Anyway, he's a big Atari 800 fan, and we don't cover enough Atari 800. The next time a big Atari 800 collection heads my way, if it heads my way, I'm going to put some on the show. I promise. I promise. Anyway, he also says he suggests a mini review section. Just me talking about some of my favourite games, but like actually talking about what they're like to play and maybe playing them. Actually playing them. And yeah, I tried that. I did a few videos, didn't I? The Amiga games played badly. I'm not brilliant at playing games as much as I love them. When it comes to the pressure of doing it on screen, not so good. But it is a great idea, and I would love to. I mean, I generally, when a game comes up that I really, really love, I do talk about it in a glowing way when we do the What's New bit. So, but yes, in theory, a bit more on some of my favourite games, great idea. But I mean, if you hear me talking about Dungeon Master anymore, you'll probably all turn off. So let's not do it. Number 6, Peter Redwin. He's happy with his junk box. He won the first junk box. Remember, that's our alternative show that we ran twice, and he was happy with his junk box, which is great. He loves the Game Boy and all the variations of the Game Boy. He collects Game Boys, and that is a fascinating thing, isn't it? There are so many variations of the Game Boy. It's a beautiful, you know, this company branded ones that they made special limited edition. There's probably 200 at least different variations of the Game Boy. So it's an epic collection to get into, but it can get incredibly expensive. You're not going to find any of them in the junk box, Pete. Anyway, he gave me this. He said this, and this was the one comment of the week that made me laugh out loud. And when I say it, you might feel the same way. He said, "Can't beat a good handheld." Yes, this is meant to be like Saturday morning TV. It's not rude, Pete. It's not poo. Not rude. But we're glad you can't beat a good handheld. Oh dear, all the kids thinking, what the hell's he on about? Number 7, PJ Venom, or Picture Venom, 1985. He's enjoying being this. You remember last week we discovered he's in his 30s. He's enjoying it. Good on him. Good on you, PJ. Anyway, he has delivered. He's delivered. He's the only one of you who delivered to last week's put out for a Playground Rumour. And he's got a gaming Playground Rumour. And that is, he vividly remembers on Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1, this rumour going around the school. If you search Wesker's desk in the Star's office 50 times, 50 times, you get a film containing a picture of teenage Rebecca Chambers on a basketball court. 50 times! I thought it was a complete myth, but I got home and I tried it, and to my surprise, it was true, and it is true, and I have found that picture. There's lots of variations of that picture. It's pretty hot. Bit of one for all you gentlemen out there. It's a gentleman's photo. Let's have a look at Rebecca. Very nice, very nice. Bit of basketball time, yeah. Amazing, really. There's variations on that picture I found on the internet. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting, yeah. But I love this. I mean, why? Why did the programmer say, "Oh, really got this spare asset? It's a bit saucy. I know, let's make them search 50 times!" And then it appeared. Who found that out? That's got to have been leaked from some hacker who went into the game and found it, isn't it? rather than someone doing that randomly. I'm not searching in a cupboard 50 times just in case eventually something else turns up. Is there other things? You know, you open that drawer in Resident Evil 7. If you do it 5,000 times, you get a pencil. I mean, it's a bit much. Isn't it? Anyway, number 8, Russ. Rusty Bucket's back. He won the second junk box. I think he's happy with it. It's hard to tell. It was very cheap. He paid 30 odd quid for it, but we only got 20. It's all in the postage. Anyway, he said it was a very interesting box. It had a Monty Christmas cassette there. That was the Christmas Monty. Came free with Sinclair, your Sinclair, I think. It was on the front cover. And he said that goes worth for 10 quid on its own. I know, and it was in the junk box. That's how good that junk box was. So he feels like he's a winner. He got 30% of his purchase price back from one cassette that was just lolling around the bottom of the box. He loved the fact that you had to cut. They did this. You put a cassette, just a loose cassette, on the front of the magazine, and then they made the inlay inside on one of the pages, and you actually had to cut it out of the page of the magazine, then fold it, put it in a cassette case, and slap it on. Here's what it looks like: Moldy Christmas. And that's what it was. It's actually a piece of paper out of the magazine. And I don't like it because it ruined magazines. It ruined them. It ruined the magazine. Stop it. Now he's got more to say. He's also saying licensed games. I remember last week we talked about licensed games and about the ones that were really, really rubbish, so bad that they put you off the actual thing it was licensed from. He said, what about Airwolf? When I played Airwolf, that Airwolf game, there's a little video of me playing Airwolf. It's not long, about 5 minutes. And that on the Spectrum, the most frustrating game you can play. A Crash Smash, I mean, highly rated, but oh my god, ooh, even thinking about it now is making my blood boil. It's crazy. It's a bit like a fever dream, you know, when you get locked into some sort of rotating kind of idea and you just can't escape it. That's what it's like trying to get into Airwolf. But I actually remember back in the day, because I had it on the Spectrum as a child, I did complete it. And I don't even know, to me it feels like that can't be true. It can't be true, Jace. You couldn't have completed this, but I did. I remember it. I remember blowing up little turrets inside and rescuing someone and getting all the way back out and feeding all. I don't know. Now I don't know. Maybe that's a fever dream. Maybe it is. And he also finally says, Street Hawk on the 64. Street Hawk on the Commodore 64, another terrible licensed game. Let's check it out.
Now, Street Hawk is quite unlike any other game situation. This is the game running on Commodore 64, and as you can see, you're not controlling a motorbike. I have no idea even what that shape is. Some kind of strange hot rod? I don't know, a block? It's weird, but it's obviously a version of Night Driver, the classic Atari VCS game. It's got no relevance to Street Hawk at all. And that's proven when you check out the Amstrad and Spectrum versions. They are completely different style games. I have no idea. I mean, I guess Ocean just rushed to get this out and they just didn't have time to write a game for it. Bizarre.
Ouch! Ouch! Okay, fair enough. Yes, Street Hawk, a bit ropey on the C64, ropey on the Spectrum too. It was a bit ropey as a TV show anyway, wasn't it really? It looked flashy, but it was one of those Glenn A. Larson like the 18, wasn't it? But it wasn't as good. Anyway, don't diss the Jeff. Don't diss the Jeff. Remember Tempest 2000. You're right, Tempest 2000 was a landmark game for the Atari Jaguar. Don't start berating Jeff Minter, but I will agree with last week's commenter. Some games are hard to grasp from Jeff's gamut of productions, but the early stuff's brilliant. Early stuff, 8-bit stuff. Anyway, stop it. 9. Andrew Harper. He's back. I think he was on last week. He says he remembers playing Croc. Do you remember Croc? I showed a sealed one last week. We had a sealed one on PS1. He remembers playing it on the Sega Saturn, and sometimes Croc's head would disappear. And that got me thinking, yes, classic bug. I mean, lots of bugs in those early 3D games, disappearing walls and textures, and suddenly I'm looking through a wall, just going to the corner, I can see. I think even GoldenEye had some of that, like you get into the corner and you could, tricky, or firing through cracks in doors that shouldn't really be there. So any bugs, if you want to talk about any bugs that you remember that really, they kind of feel like a get out of jail free card. I found this helps me out. The ultimate bug I always think of, not ultimate, but ultimate bug I think of is always the Jet Set Willy suddenly falling through pages and pages of space because you accidentally jumped the wrong way. Crazy, but back in them days, no updates. That game is committed to cassette. You can't rewrite the game. It's there. That bug stayed forever. Games and their bugs would walk hand in hand into the future, and it's kind of like nice in a way. Bugs were part of the experience. We got used to them. We did get used to them. Number 10. I didn't say how many people. 25. Is this a record? Record breaker. Yeah, call him. Call Norris. Call him. Not Lando Norris. Norris McWhirter. Wrong one. It's the wrong one. Anyway, yeah, 25 this week. Brilliant. Thank you. Tetley's back. He said he wanted to bite that Alchemist gold cassette. Let's just show that. Yes, solid gold. That cassette for Alchemist on the Spectrum. And yeah, you do just want to go, ooh, ooh, ooh. No, save your biting for Atari joysticks for some reason. Atari VCS joysticks, they are all bitten. The amount of teeth marks. You are going to struggle to find any of those joysticks without teeth marks. It's the rubber. I love this joystick. Yeah, weird. Weird. Number 11. Retrogames Revive. Sean. Yeah, no, Sean. Now, we had a parcel returned. He wasn't in when it came. We had a parcel returned for Sean this week. I have emailed him about this. He hasn't replied. We had a parcel returned because he wasn't around. But the delivery was back on the 18th of February. And it took that long to get back to us because that's how rubbish Royal Mail are with returns. But he has not chased that parcel. And it was 2 orders in one parcel. He hadn't chased it. And do you know what that means to me? Do you know what that says? You're buying too much, Sean. You are buying too much. If you can just completely forget that you've ordered that much stuff. Yeah, well, I've done it. I've been there. Yeah, the parcels, you just can't keep track. You think, oh, I should have written this down on the list. Because you've ordered so many things from different places. And then some slips through the net and you forgot all about it. And then you're thinking, I'm sure I bought that about 2 years later. I'm sure I bought that game. I'm sure I had that game. And then you don't actually have it. Anyway, he said, Junkbox. Why did Junkbox die after 2 episodes? 2 episodes, you needed to give it more of a chance, Jace. Yes, I know. It was a lot. It was it was easy to do, just showing you some crud. But 20 quid. 20 quid. I mean, if I started that high, if I started at 50, I might not get any bids, and then I'm stuck with the junk box. Tricky. It's under advisement. I know. Any comments on that? Any opinion? I will take it on board. Number 12, Richard Cooper. He bought. Rich, you're in Australia. I remember Australia. He bought the official Street Fighter Anniversary Edition arcade stick. It was for the Xbox and the PS2. I think it was compatible with both. But it was the official Capcom arcade stick. Anyway, he's saying he's had that for 15 years. No. Well, yeah, he's 15 years. He bought a USB converter to plug into his PC. And he's still using it. But he has never ever seen a PS2 or an Xbox. Only ever used it on his PC. And I think that's quite interesting. I have no idea what relevance that is to anything, but I found that interesting story. Thank you, Richard. We all think it's interesting now. It's kind of weird that an Xbox and PS2 device still being used, but never ever seen the original hardware. It's an unusual story. I'm not sure it needed writing down, but it's definitely. Thanks, Rich. Move on quick. 13, Boxed In. He liked the box art that we showed. Both the nice ones I did the week before, and then the horrible homemade ones that I showed. Not that horrible. Not quaint ones that I showed last week. And he said he was we all need to just calm for a minute. Just calm for a minute. Let's all think about poor Boxed In. I don't know his real name. It might be a lady. He, she, they said they are an Commodore Plus 4 user. Yes, I'm guessing parental choice came into that. They got a Commodore Plus 4, not a 64. They got the Plus 4 with its own range of games. For some unknown reason, some range of underwhelming, lower quality games. And he got tricked a lot because there's a lot of obscure label stuff that came out for Plus 4. A lot more obscure than Commodore 64 stuff. Got a lot lower sales, so a lot fewer companies specialising in Plus 4. Solar Soft springs to mind. Anyway, tricked by a lot of that artwork, because the artwork looked fantastic, and then you play the game. Oh, Tarpelian, come on in. And anyway, he said the game that thankfully there was one game that was good on the Plus4, and it's a game we've talked about the last weeks or so, Way of the Exploding Fist. He said check out the Plus4 version. It rocks. Check it out. It's alright, yeah, it's alright. Spectrum, Commodore Plus 4 version of What If? What? It sounds like a swear word, doesn't it? What if? Come downstairs, come on, eat your dinner. What if? I don't know. Yeah, it kind of works. Anyway, thank you for that. Boxed in. Retro Import Gamer, that's our mate James.
Konnichiwa, everybody.
Konnichiwa to you. He says, there's a rumour, it's funny, there's a rumour that Retro Bear has a helicopter to transport him from home straight to the marina. because I laid in to just a little funny comment I think that Retro Bear made the week before, saying he had a yacht, about some yacht software that I showed. So strong, he hasn't really commented. He commented on that, but he didn't comment to the actual show, and he didn't claim his prize. Come on, Russ, you won last week. You don't even want that prize, don't you? It was a Spectrum game and a Dreamcast game. You didn't even want them. He doesn't want them. If you put that you don't want them in a comment, then I shall add them to next week's prize, and we'll have 3 things in that prize. That'd be good, or 4 things. Depends how many things we have. Anyway. What else did he... going back to James, he said Marvin needs to team up with Milton for his voice. Let's just work this out. Marvin meets Milton.
Milton. You turn me on.
Does it work? Does that work? It's funny, it's funny. Anyway, moving on. What else did he say? He said, yes, I should get paid by Sony for all my Sony VR, PSVR 2 hype. But he says I've also making him want to get one. Yes, James, please get one. But make sure someone's there to watch you. I really want to be there. I want to be there. I want to do it live. First time you ever do VR. First time you do it. Set up your cameras. Do it for your channel. Set up your cameras. Put it on. Put on Resident Evil Village. And then, to be honest, even the menu screen, you'll be like, oh, what? But look, obviously in your accent, not mine. That was, I mean, if that is, maybe it was in your accent, I don't know. He says, talking about disappointments on licensed games, coming back to that, his biggest disappointment was Bullseye on the Spectrum.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome your host for the evening, Jim Bowen.
You're very kind. Lovely. Thank you. Welcome to Bullseye. It's a game about the nation's most popular indoor sport.
Yeah, I love Bullseye. Everyone, British, it was a British TV show about darts. It's massive, super smash and grit. Listen to Tione. Listen to Tione. This is what you could have won. In 5.
In 2. For dining in style, this elegant Staffordshire tableware.
Never another quiet night in with these board games.
In 4. Hours of fun for some little one. A child's robot toy.
Oh, don't get me started on Bullseye. Don't get me started on Jim Bowen. Anyway, yeah, disappointing. Disappointing. What do you expect? Quiz games, they're always disappointing on computers, aren't they? on like TV quiz games, Family Fortunes, you know, Every Second Counts, Trivial Pursuit. Don't talk about the Trivial Pursuit mountain. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. 15. I'm going to put Retro's Bear's comment in the list, even though he wasn't answering me. He wasn't talking to me. I'm not talking to you, Jace. I'm talking to James. And he said, I have a decent sized yacht, but a massive chopper. I think that's rude. I think that is rude, but not too rude. So it's okay, we could read it out. Ooh, number 16. Yeah, 16. Sixth Doctor. Got back into retro. Now got back into retro with various minis, like the emulation minis and the Evercade. Now we've had a few arguments about emulation. Obviously, the Evercade is an emulation console. It's emulating old games. But I'll be honest. Call yourself a retro gamer, Jace. I have not yet experienced the Evercade. If one comes into stock, I shall definitely have a go. But I've not felt the need to buy one. Because I like the real thing. All right, the real thing. No offense. Sixth Doctor is now writes for an Evercade magazine. That's Evercade Evolution magazine. That format is so big now. It's got its own magazine. That's pretty awesome because it's a retro format. And it's, whatever you think about emulation, it's still pushing the boundaries of vintage gaming to the wider audience, including him, because he got back into it because of it. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's not diss the Evercade. Especially if I haven't tried it. I do like convenience. I I like it when the fridge is full. You can tell, can't you? Moving on, he says the game that he sticks in his mind from the Spectrum days, and it's one that I'm with him on this. It's a good one. That game is Brian Bloodaxe. Check out Brian Bloodaxe. Yes, what a brilliant platformer. He remembers the music. Everyone remembers the music. It's Monty Python music. Everyone remembers that. But the thing about Brian Bloodaxe, it was on the Edge label. Picture of the game. Brian Bloodaxe, you could blow up the platforms and kind of cheat. You get the dynamite, you blow up a different hole, and then you could fall through into new caverns, new places. It all opened up. Suddenly it felt like this big, massive, free roaming game, which, you know, coming off the back of Manic Miner, Jet Set Willy, those Technician Ted, those pretty uniform, standard, single screen action games. And then suddenly you could blow up the platforms and reinvent where you're going, cheat the system. Yeah, brilliant game. Brian Bloodaxe on Spectrum. I'm with you. It's a good one.
In 5, you'll be in a world of your own with this super personal stereo.
Number 17, Retro Crazy UK. Jace. Now this is a reference to Tiswell's Saturday Morning TV, because apparently this, for some of you, is now Saturday Morning TV. Which is a bit weird. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, I get it. Jace's Retrogaming's Chris Tarrant. He's even older than me. I'm sure I could do a Chris Tarrant. I could do better than that. That was a terrible Chris Tarrant impression. But yes, thank you very much. I think that is a compliment. I will be your Chris Tarrant. If that's what you need me to be. I'm very pliant. 18, Solar Observation UK, moving swiftly on. Typing in programs. Do you remember typing in programs? Sean answered him, this Retro Games Revived. He answered this saying, oh yeah, from Input Magazine. An Input Magazine. I don't know if you remember that. Input Magazine was a magazine aimed at parents. Teach your children to be able to program computers and they will have a better life and a better career, better than you ever had. But it was really, really dry. My mum did it. My mum, she subscribed to Input Magazine. It was in W.H. Smith's for me every week. Yeah, weekly. Quite glossy glossy, nothing current. It was just all about programming. It covered a whole host of formats from ZX80 right through to like the current consoles, the current computers, like, you know, but weird stuff like Memotech and all that. It covered every format just to keep it everyone inclusive. And it was so boring. My mum would say, "Oh, you haven't read your magazine this week?" "Oh no, don't make me, please, Mum. Why'd you keep picking it up? It costs $2.99. Anyway, it's one of them. But there was listings in that to teach you how to program. But the magazine for listings for me was Sinclair Programs, because that was the fun. That was fun. That was games. Sinclair Programs magazine, very early, 1981, I think it started. ZX81 listings, carried up to 84, I think, 85, did not go much further than that. It was a type-in listings. I was going to show you some type-in listing pages. Now, you would type in from these magazines, and there would always be an error, and you'd get to the end, and I've said this before, I'm sure, you'd get to the end, you press run, you type in, sorry, syntax unknown, or something like some, you know, error. You couldn't run the game, and you'd be like, well, I've just wasted. You couldn't save it. You couldn't save it because you couldn't get it to run. So you were stuck. It wasn't a proper program. So you then turn off your computer in disgust, and then the next month they print the corrections, and then you'd have to go, oh, it was just that line was wrong, and then you have to type it all in again with that new line. I mean, I'm probably preaching to the converted. You guys all did this. It was like one magazine got about 30 games in it. It was like good value for money, you know, for us pauper gamers back then when I was, what, 11, 12. So yeah, I'm quite happy to sit there typing in this list. The things you did, yeah, but I'm with you. Yeah, it was a great time, and also a very frustrating time. 19, Wondrous Jaguar, she's back. She loved all our GameCube stuff. It was nice to have some GameCube stuff on the show. So that's it, it's so mixed up. 1 week it's GameCube, 1 week it's all 8-bit, 1 week it's Commodore, 1 week it's Spectrum. You know, and that is the joy of retro gaming. We, as I said last week, we love all formats, don't we, generally? Some of them are our favourites, but it's just nice to be able to cover everything. Brilliant. Jason Volk. Jason Volk is at number 20. 20 is a big list, isn't it? Doesn't want to go back to his 30s, he wants to go back to the 1980s. And wouldn't we all like to go back to the 1980s? Oh my goodness. The thing is, we all, probably in half of this list, top 5 films is Back to the Future. And that Back to the Future goes back to the 1955. But we love where he is. We want to actually, you Back to the Future, but go back to where you actually are, where you started, Marty. Where you started, because it would be a dream just to go back and be, say, 1983, 1982, 1983. Just wake up and suddenly, what? You go, yeah. I mean, I would be a bit of a shock. It would be a bit of a shock, you know. I used to have blankets on the bed. That's right, blanket. I'm thinking, yeah, wouldn't have even had a duvet back then. I had blankets. Yeah, I'd be throwing the blankets off and I'm wearing pyjamas. This is unusual. Yeah, it would be an unusual morning, wouldn't it? What do I have for cereal? I'd come down, have me Weetabix. I think you still get Weetabix. That's the same. I'd have to go to school though. Yeah, I don't know. It would be good though. It would be good just to relive the 80s, wouldn't it? Just to watch telly. No telly on in the mornings. Didn't have any telly back then. Not in the mornings. Didn't have any telly in the afternoons, did they? I think they used to come on for kids programs at lunchtime, and then it'd go off again until the kids came home from school and we watched kids TV. Yeah. But I guess you were talking about gaming. I might have gone off on a tangent. I do that. I go off on a tangent. Get used to it. 21, nice and simple. 8-Bit Boy UK is back. Loved the show. That is enough for me. Thank you. Tricks of the trade. 22, Scary Bailey. Scary Bailey. Now, it was his 50th birthday. Happy birthday to you, Scary Bailey. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, it was his 50th, the big 50. I've done mine. It's a lot of you guys will be around there or have just had yours not that long ago. We all know how it is to suddenly realise, you're 50! Why? Anyway, he got, for his 50th birthday, from his special loved one, he got a Grandstand Astro Wars. Awesome! Yeah! One of my favourite all-time electronic games, Grandstand Astro Wars. But then he goes on to say, he got one for his birthday in 1981 as well. Oh, why? Same present! Why? Why have I got the same present twice? Oh, I hate people who don't know what you've got already and buy you the same thing. Leave her. I would just leave her, mate. Anyway, carrying on. He says, he's getting a bit philosophical. He's being a bit philosophical about Retrogaming. He says 3 points of retro gaming. Let's see if we enjoy this. Let's see if we concur. Number 1, nostalgia, the joy of reminiscing, and that is true. Nostalgia, reminiscing. That is the first point. I agree with that one. Number 2, enjoying the gaming firsts. The thresholds that got broken. The first colour game, the first game with sound, first game with music as you play, the first 3D isometric game. You know, all that sort of stuff. Yes, absolutely. I do love those groundbreaking events because at the time they were very exciting. Even the first, I remember the first fighting game on the Spectrum, Kung Fu. It was like, what, fighting on the Spectrum. Anyway, number 3, third point. Pure gameplay never dies! Pure gameplay never dies. That's got t-shirt slogan written all over it, and he's right. And he finishes off saying, even open world games aren't new. They're not new. He said, do you remember Hunter on the Amiga? Of course we do. We all remember Hunter on the Amiga. It was written by the same team that did GTA. It's proper let's check it out. There's vehicles, so many vehicles. The first game you could just find vehicles and take off. It was amazing. Hunter was amazing. Groundbreaking game at the time on the old Amiga. Brilliant. Did it come on ST as well? Possibly. Anyway, I'm with you. Great game. Very, very important in the history of open world games. 23, Generation Pixel. He's from Scotland. He watches on a 55-inch TV. That's not blurry. That's not blurry enough. Look at the state of this thing. You don't want that on a 55-inch TV. He says he has to because he's 50-year-old eyesight, and I know what that is like because everything's a blur. Everything's been a blur for about 7 or 8 years now. But that's the way I like it. Got used to it. He commented on a couple of things from last week's show. The first one was Rabbit Shoot. Do you remember I showed you Rabbit Shoot on the Spectrum? Yeah, and had that nasty gouge in the little cassette window where you can see the amount of tape. And he said, do you think someone was trying to rewind it with a pencil like in the old days and they just misjudged it and just stabbed it through, trying to rewind the tape? This is going to go straight over the head of anyone in their 30s, PJ Venom. We used to, sometimes your cassette player would struggle. They get old, especially on the Spectrum. You've got some old Alba cassette player. The batteries are going, or you haven't got it's not got enough energy to rewind the tape. So you could do it yourself with a pencil. You'd throw the pencil through it and you'd spin the pencil and you'd rewind the game that way. And that took almost as long as it did to load it. Great days. They were great days. Promise, they were. They were great days, weren't they? Weren't we lucky? We really were. Now, he also comments on Sacred Armour of Antiriad, which we showed last week. There's a little bit. Yes, what an amazing, underrated game. And yeah, it's a fight. He said it's like a cross between Metroid and Castlevania. And if you're right, really, it's like kind of that kind of game. But he does say it's better on the Spectrum, and I'm not sure. So I found some footage of the Spectrum version. Yeah, it's not as good, is it? It's a big graphics. I don't know. It's all down to your personal preference. If you're a specky nut, then you probably like the Spectrum version better. I tried to stay a little bit more partisan. Not parmesan. Number 24, Kuderixa. He's back. Kuderixa. He said I could pronounce it any how I like. He said that. He said it. He's asked some questions. What about you, Jason? Tell us some answers. What about you? What about some questions for me? And if you've got any questions you want to ask for my personal opinion on, I'm not Gary Lineker. I will give you my personal opinion on anything. It doesn't even have to be game related. I'll just give you my opinions. No problem. Nobody's going to censor me. No big wig's going to censor me. I am the big wig. Here, in this room, at this table, not that side, this bit, just here. This little area here, this is mine. I can say what I like, as long as it's not too loud. Carrying on, what's my favourite console, he said. What is my favourite console? And I've always stuck to this. I stuck to this because it meant so much for me at the time, and someone else said about it because of the games that are behind me. My favourite games console is the N64. I don't know if it was just me, but it was when cartridge gaming really meant something. You know, played PS1. I was a big fan. PS1, PS2. Yeah, I played it. I had everything. I had all of them. But that convenience of plugging in those cartridges and the quality that Nintendo made sure most of those games had. I mean, if you look at the average review, I don't know this is fact, but if you look at the average review score, say, of PS2, all the games, and then the average review score of N64, I would say N64 is quite a way ahead. There was so many, I mean, obviously you've got your Zeldas, your Mario Karts, your big games, all the rare stuff. But, you know, that's not to say it didn't have its problems.
Easy! Brighten up your kitchen with this collection of designer kitchen goods.
No, I can't think of why are you trying to think of problems with the N64? I actually can't think of one. The little memory expansion, it didn't do much, did it? It improved a couple of games. Donkey Kong 64, which is a brilliant game. Yeah, that was it felt a bit of a con. They didn't really. The DD drive, we failed. That was a failure. They didn't make that many games for it, did they? Not really. That would be my biggest downside of the N64. There's not that many quantity-wise games compared to those other formats, because Nintendo kept a tight control on what they produced. So yeah. Anyway, that's what. Long rambling answer. N64, mate. His other question is, what's my favourite spine design? And I've been thinking about this because I hate a lot of case designs, but I do think the spines look good. I'm going to leave it out there for a bit. There is a lot of nice spines that look good on the shelf. I mean, you could say Nintendo DS look pretty good, don't they? They look pretty good. It's uniformity. Oh God, I can't even speak. I've lost the ability to speak. I've spoken too much. My quota is done. But some of those 8-bit games, they're matching. You know, not the budget games, but I Quicksilver. The Quicksilver range with the little triangle, the little slashes of the spectrum across the top, and then all the titles, they line up so nicely. I don't know. That's a big question. There is loads of games with great spines, but I will take it on and I shall think about it, and I might come up with a better answer, because I think there is also some great console spines. I mean, Mega Drive spines are good, aren't they? Master System spines are good. They do look great on a shelf. But there's some. I think I'm missing the absolute. I just need to think what it is. Vectrex spines. Vectrex look great on a shelf. 25, Steve Holloway. He was talking about game covers, and he likes steel books. The steel books, you know, they re-released a lot of games. In the PS2, PS3, not PS3 so much, PS2, Xbox 360, they re-released separate examples in steel case, metal case boxes. And I did show one, I think it was PS3 actually last week. They are very nice, aren't they? But I don't know about you, but if you're familiar with steel, well, they're not steel, are they? Aluminium? I don't know what they're actually made. They call them steel book, but I don't think they're made of solid steel, sapphire and steel. I think they're made of just any old metal, but do you remember the Street Fighter 2 Turbo? That's the one. That came in a tin box with a badge, and they just so tarnished, just aging. They just age on their own. And I think some of the Xbox ones, I think again, they just start to mottle and go rusty just from normal atmosphere. I think they're less protective of your games than a standard plastic case, and yet they're pushing themselves out there as the big super look after your games, get the steel book. I'm not so sure. Maybe it's about how they've been kept. Maybe it's about how they've been kept. You keep it in the shelf, shrink wrapped forever, it might be all right. But I don't know. I see a lot of damaged, rusty steelbook cases. Anyway, 25. That is our big 25. Phew, we got there. It's time for
Competition.
Yes! What is the prize this week? Well, this week on the site we listed, I don't know if anybody noticed it, we're going to cover that in a minute. Atari 7800 games. We had a lot of Atari 7800. So I thought, give one away. Give one away. And this is Jinx! Jinx for the Atari 7800. Yeah, the Atari 7800, that's improved. Better version, higher resolution version of the Atari VCS. Incompatible VCS. You can't play 7800 games on a VCS, 2600. But you can play 7800 games. You can play 2600 games on the 7800. Anyway, that's irrelevant. This is Jinx. I'll just put it on the big camera. It is sealed new. It's a little bit. It is a little bit
Squashy.
yes, a little bit squashy washy. You can't help it. Some of these old games they do get, but it is brand new. It's going to be in there. It's in with this manual, and it's in a protective case. Very nice. And that's this week's prize. There's only one thing left for me to do. Yeah. Call his name. Get ready. Here's the jingle.
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. And numbers
Okay,
are my
yeah, Marvin.
game.
Yeah, Marvin is back in the house. I've got to put this up to 25. That's up from 18 last week. So we've got more runners and riders. Let's put it on. Ready? Marvin, are you in there, Marvin? Marvin, 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 Marvin. He's dead as a donut. He's back! Oh, he's back in the room. Just in a little electrical. Oh, oh, Marv, you're winding me up. Anyway, are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, Marvin. 1. Go, Marvin! Hooray! Yes, is that number 19, is it? 19, who is number 19? Wondrous Jaguar! Wondrous Jaguar! I hope you're in the UK, I'm not sure you are. But she has won, finally. Good, someone else new. Everyone's winning who's new, but I don't know if you've got an Atari 7800. I mean, your name is Wondrous Jaguar, which makes me think you love the Jaguar, so maybe you're an Atari collector, and that game is of some interest to you, I hope so. Right, let's get to the next bit of the show. I will say, before we get to the next bit of the show, I will say, next week's show, I might have to miss a week. I am out and about buying big collections next week. I do travel about to look at people's stuff sometimes. It's fun. It can be not fun, but sometimes it is fun. It depends. If it's a really big collection, I will come and have a talk to you. It happens sometimes, and next week I've got some of that sort of stuff going on. So I might not have time to do the full show, but I might just do a smaller version of the show if I can. But you'll have to forgive me if I can't fit it in. And if I can't fit it in, I'll just take these comments from this one onto the next show. I just thought I'd give that out there. And also, if any of you guys are thinking, oh, Jace, I love this show, but I'm really falling out of love with retro games, that's okay, carry on watching the show. But if it's anybody's sell-up time, it happens to a lot of people. Sell-up time. People, even people who've bought most of their collection from us, they'll come to a point where they go, hang on, I think it's time to cash out. I don't want the hassle of selling it all myself though, because that is going to be an epic slog. So, you know, let me know. I can come out and meet you. I mean, I can come and see your collection. I can buy it off you. And I can give you loads and loads of money. So I'm just putting it out there, just in case you're thinking, how does he buy this stuff? I do go out and about and I do buy big collections. And I have travelled a long way. I've been down to Penzance, St Ives in Cornwall as well. Yeah, Cornish Davy. If anybody knows the mega Spectrum collector Cornish Davy, yeah. It was Retrogames who snapped up that lot. And who else? I've been in Scotland. I've been to Edges of. I mean, I don't. What am I doing? I commit myself to drive to Scotland to have a look at someone's 3DO collection. No, it has to be big. You've got to have a pretty epic collection for me to get that far. But it does happen. I do go out and about and I travel, so it is fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's all fun of the job. It's exciting. I know what you're thinking.
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games.
Retrogames this week, and it's been a big listing week. But before we get straight on that, I'm going to change my shirt for this bit. I know, sounds weird. So you may remember a few months ago we covered some super rare Dreamcast. Well, now it's time to add some more of that amazing collection onto the Retrogames site. So, without further ado, drum roll please. Let's start with another super rare Dreamcast. Here it is. Here it is. This is the Code Veronica limited edition Japanese Dreamcast, and I just wanted to show you guys this. It's a lovely box, kind of brown with a brown strap. Biohazard Veronica. Biohazard. Do Japanese people call Biohazard Resident Evil now? Have they caught on, or are they still calling it Biohazard? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the latest games. You know, old ones, they're Biohazard. Let's open this up. Try and get it straight on the camera. Very exciting, as you know. No console manufacturer made anywhere near the amount of special editions the Sega did for the Dreamcast. Okay. Again, absolutely brand new, unused condition. Let's get that central. Yeah, let's pull this up. What have we got? Oh, look at this. Look. Okay. Oh, here we go. So here we have sealed passport, and what's this? The sealed Code Veronica game. Beautiful, mint and sealed, not been touched. There's some little additional flyer in there, and there we have a specific VMU. I'm excited about that. Got to put this back in the box properly. No mucking about this time. Not on this stuff. And we've got a proper grey VMU. Very unusual colour. Must be exclusive to this version of the console. We've got some manuals. We've got some sort of setup flyer. A nice bag of manuals there. Let's do the controller and anything else that's in this box. Oh, there's something extra here. Oh, that's exciting. Let's come to that. There we have the controller in its poly bag. Look at that. I mean, this is an unusual colour. That is two-tone. So we're looking at red for the main body, and then like a really garish kind of purple, transparent purple for the rest. Grey on the back. Very unusual, very specific to this console. Very nice. Oh, what's in that box? What is in that little box? I know, we're getting there, I'm just putting it all back nicely. Nobody will ever touch it. Who's ever going to play this? I mean, it's too rare to play. It's too rare to touch. Too rare. Bear with me, just popping it back in the bag properly. We're going to get to the we will get to the console. Let's have a look at this. So it's got a small little box here. Let's have a look what this is. Nothing in there at all. Yes, there is something in there. Oh, Let Me Live. It's kind of sealed. Card, metal card. Oh, weird. It's an umbrella, ID card from characters in the game. Let Me Live. Still sealed, never touched by human hand. Little paper card with that. Interesting. We like little gifts that make these editions special. Let's pop that back in this inner box. And let's have a look at the console. And as you can imagine, it's pretty. It's a pretty one. Let's have a look. All the cables in the bottom there. Look at the console again. Wow. I mean, transparent. I love transparent consoles. Beautiful. It's got the limited edition number on the back. It's one of 1800, and there you have it. This is number 1676 of 1800. And yes, the lid is a different colour. I'm going to pop it open. There you go. It's like a transparent pinky purple magenta lid, and then the rest of the body is red. Super limited edition, 1800. Incredible, and obviously a must find for Resident Evil fans. Oh, Code Veronica Biohazard, obviously the Japanese full name. That's the first one. Okay, now you'll be forgiven for thinking, this is exactly the same one, Jace. You're going to do the same one again? No, it's different. It's different again. Code Veronica. Let's get the side art there. It is the same box. It is the same box. Very, very similar design. That's the box. Let's open it up. I know you're itchy and you're thinking, I know what this is. Are you? You'd have to be pretty into Dreamcast to have an idea of what this might be. Here we go. So, very similar to the last one. This one's got a different sort of box. It's slightly different, isn't it? Opens a different way. Similar contents though. You've got the sealed game. You've got the sealed game. You've got the passport. Different passport disc. That is a different one. Strange. And again, grey. Did the other one say Code Veronica actually on the VMU? I'm not sure it did. Maybe it is different. It is different. And there's the game. There's the game. That's the same as the other one. Beautiful. Let's put that to one side. Let's have a look at the box. Lift the lid. Okay, we've got the same as last time. We've got the manual. We've got the manuals pack. Different Dream passport again. Now, if I open this box, you'll know what sort of edition this one is. Because this is an incredibly rare console. Just check this out. It's like it's transparent, but really dark navy. Grey bottom again. What do you think? Yes, this is the Sega Stars edition of the Dreamcast. One of the rarest consoles ever made. Limited edition to 200 units. Now I know what you want to see. You want to see the console. So here's your bag of stuff, and there it is. Mint condition, unused again, like the last time. All the cables in the bottom box there. And here, let's get this baby out. Oh, beautiful, perfect mint condition. Wow, it's a bit like a Holy Grail item, the Stars one. Super, super rare. The last one of these to sell on eBay went for $18,000. Let me just say that again. $18,000! Yes, that is ridiculously rare. We are getting to the point where these are proper artifacts, aren't they? And there we have the number on the back. It's number 152 of 200. Only available direct from Sega. And just incredible. You have to be very lucky to get one. And only 200, and that's why they just never ever turn up, and that's why they go for such massive money. And on top of being an amazing rarity, having that connection to Resident Evil helps, because Resident Evil is a franchise that will be collected forever. I'm sure we will have Resident Evil 50 one day. What do you think? One day there'll be Resident Evil 50. It's going to happen. Mark my words. Let's see if I can get all this stuff back in the box nicely. That is too rare to touch. Sega Dreamcast Stars limited edition. What's next? Calm down. Keep it calm. Here's another one. You're thinking, are we going up the scale? We might be. We might be. Check out the box for this. Very familiar, similar to the Super Black editions and the Silver and the Pearl Blue edition. It's got this extra sticker there. Extra sticker. So look at the back there. Absolutely mint condition again. This is an incredible item. It's a privilege for you to be able to watch me open it. It's a privilege for me to open it, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Sealed. Let's have a look. Let's get this out. We've got the sealed passport disc. You was expecting that. And here we have the controller. Let's look at the controller in a minute. Everything's sealed. I'm going to have to slide this out. Slide this out. It's one of those ones in the tray. We've got the cables. Bear with me, bear with me. You're thinking, it can't be that, can it? It can be. It can be. It is. I've got to be so careful with this. I do not want to. Oh, it's one of those boxes. the bottom pack. Excuse me, it's a bit like delivering a baby, isn't it? A bit like helping a baby out of the womb. Not something they've ever done. Okay, are you ready? It is an RX-78 Dreamcast. The RX-78, yes, live and in the flesh. It is an item of legend. It is absolutely unused, maybe the only unused one left in the world. Look at that. Now the colours of this is for Gundam. This is a Gundam limited edition, only available from the Dreamcast Direct store in Japan. But the key with this RX-78 is called that because of Gundam, but also limited edition to 78 units. And here you go, 22 of 78. There is only 78 of these consoles in the world. In the world. I know, it's insane, isn't it? It's insane when things are that rare. And also unused. I mean, I'm feeling queasy just touching it. It is that amazing. Let's get the controller out anyway. I mean, it's pretty much a standard looking Dreamcast in a dark blue with corresponding buttons. It's just about being so limited edition. And unused as well helps. But it's just quite a nice tasteful with the red, the yellow, and that lovely navy colour. But it doesn't come with the game. This edition never came with the game. It just comes with the standard cables. It comes with the standard box. I know what you're thinking, but how much is it worth, Jace? How much is this thing worth? Well, the last one to sell on eBay was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And it sold for 9,000. It sold for 9,000 8 years ago. Now that's a hell of a long time in retro gaming. So I would say this is probably rarer than the Stars. Well, it's definitely rarer. 78 out of 78, and that was out of 200. So I would say it's worth a lot more than the Stars one. But what an incredible console. Surely there's not one to top that. Oh, here we go then. This is the last one of the rare Dreamcast I'm adding today. Again, absolutely brand new and unused. Let's show you. And you can see a picture of a limited edition Dreamcast there. Not really much of a clue to what this is, really, from the box. But again, immaculate condition. Stunning, stunning. It never ever opened. Until now. Well, if we can't open the box and enjoy these things, just at least look at them before some super rich collector snappers them up, then, well, you know, what's the fun in that? Now I'm going to blow the surprise straight away with the controller. This is absolutely, I don't think this has ever been out. This hasn't ever been out. We are talking, yes. Now what do you think? What do you think? You can see that. Oh my goodness, that can't be. It is. It's the pearl pink. It's the pearl pink edition of the Sega Dreamcast. Japan only. Very, got the sealed passport disc. I'll get onto the veries in a minute. Let me just break the box and slide this. Not break the box.
Here's what I found.
Oh, shh. Got some. All the cables, everything is sealed in here. It has not been out of the box before. I'm feeling queasy. But I'm doing it. I'm pulling it out. I've got it. It is a brand new pearl pink Dreamcast, the stuff of legends. And it's very likely you don't know anything about this. You probably didn't know about the RX-78 unless you really are a devoted Dreamcast collector. I mean, this is perfect. Honestly, I've just taken it out of the plastic bag for the first time. What a crazy thing to do, but you're worth it. Let's do an open just for... Oh, beautiful, lovely, smooth action. Brand new. I'm going to stop touching it and put it back in its bag. Now let me talk about the pearl pink Dreamcast. It hasn't got a limited edition number on the back, but it is one of 200, which I think is the same as... It's the same as the Stars. Same as Stars. But there's something very strange about this. You could only get this console if you won it in a lottery, in a Japanese lottery. So it didn't have normal distribution at all. And all of them seem to have just disappeared. because, and this is quite mind-blowing, and it might change instantly, and this won't mean anything anymore, but at the moment, bear with me, drum roll, at the moment, as a circa when is it, March 2023, the pink limited edition, pearl pink limited edition Dreamcast has never been on eBay. Yeah, that's right. Stand up, get up, don't fall over. No, seriously, never ever been for sale. It's never come up for sale. It's that rare. It's that rare. I guess just people who worked in Sega maybe snaffled them up, and nobody has decided to get rid of it yet. I can find no trace of this ever being sold before, so it must remain one of the most rare consoles. It must be probably, if not the rarest Dreamcast console in the world, and I hope you enjoyed my little reveal. And I'm back in the brown. I'm desperate for that not to be rude. Please, please, kids are watching. Stop it, Jace. God's sake. Back in the brown. Yes, it's been a big listing week. Apart from that, it's more, not just about them. There's been more stuff this week. We had a big collection come in a couple of weeks ago, was it? About a couple of weeks ago. From a long-time friend to the show and friend to Retrogames, been buying from us for years, Mike, and we bought his collection. And this is horrible because I'm going to show some stuff that we bought from Mike to get excited about, and he was in, you know, it's torment. It is torment when you come to sell your collection if you've accumulated for a long time, and my heart goes out to you guys. It's different for me because I'm buying it for stock, cream off with the nice bits for myself. That's the benefit. But you know, it's easy for me to just keep accumulating it. It's really hard sometimes, even if the money's amazing, it's really hard to let go of this stuff. And then to see me list stuff that you really loved and really fought to find, it's tough. So my heart goes out to you because he said he is going to watch. So Mike, forgive me for getting excited about your games. I'm probably more excited about them than I was when I bought them. But that's the job. It's the job. It's not, yeah, anyway. Let's start with Atari 7800. Okay, now I did buy these from Mike. Hats off to him. Lovely guy. What about this one? Mario Brothers. Yeah, Mario Brothers on the Atari 7800 or 7800 to you Americans. It's in nice condition. It's nice. It actually didn't have a manual with it. We actually had a spare manual that we could put with it to make it complete. Really nice one. But what is a Nintendo game doing on Atari? And there is fascination about these early Nintendo games that appeared on Atari formats. Donkey Kong Jr., Mario Brothers. You know, and on Spectrum there's Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong 2. In television, loads of them. But, I mean, what were these games? What would Nintendo think? Well, this is pre-Famicom. They didn't have their own format to release on. They had the arcades. They had their arcade machines. But they didn't have any consoles to release the formats on at this time. So, yeah, anyway, it's enough of the rambling. What's 7800 Mario Brothers look like? Here it is. Yes, classic Mario action. So, I just think, what a lovely thing to have that rare now. He's rare on the 7800. And now let's carry on. More 7800. This is Basket Brawl. It's in a protective case. Excuse me, this is mint and sealed. Yes, sealed. Quite a rare game, this. I love it when they turn sport games into violence. Like fighting soccer. There's been loads of them. To make games, yeah, let's take a game that everyone knows and let's just get it a bit more violent and people love it even more and buy the game. I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Why would they love basketball being more violent? I don't know. There's another one, Choplifter. Choplifter, one of my favourite games. Choplifter, what an epic game. Let's just get it out of this plastic shell. A Beautiful condition, this one. Beautiful. I just love this game. It's super hard. I'm terrible at playing it. I have to very, very gently tease this open. There we go. We've got the manual there and the cartridge. Beautiful chop lifter. It's for people who like stealing from butchers. I just thought of that. Lifter meaning thief. Chop as in pork chops. Come on, get over it. I'm working overtime on this to entertain you. The least you can do is grunt. Not that way. Anyway, carry on. One more. I think one more 7. I didn't pick many 7-800s, but good start. Karateka. Karateka fighting game on 7-800. Karateka, nothing to do with carrots. I think I've made that joke when I showed the Commodore 64 version. Karateka, again, beautiful condition, lovely game. It's a good week if you're an Atari 7800 collector. Some of them have gone already. Sorry, Mike. That's just how it is. That's how it is. We've got a manual, 2 manuals there. We've got the English one and we've got a German one there. And there's the cartridge, immaculate, beautiful condition. Classic combat, karate combat for the 7800. Now, that's something I want to point out about 7800 games in general, is they did like to just put 3 words or 4 words on the back of the box to kind of sum up, précis, if you will, what the game was about. And this one, very simple, karate combat. Karate combat. Choplifter, rescue the hostages. Yeah, 3 words. Let's go Mario Brothers. Oh, a bit longer. Mario and Luigi battle the pests. Basket brawl. Slam, dunk and jam. And if you look at all the 7800 game backs to the boxes, there is loads. They've all got those 3-word comments and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun shouting them out in the office, I found. Moving on. Let's talk about Video Pack. Now, we don't cover much Video Pack. We haven't done so far on the show. The Video Pack is a lumpy old version of the console. It's the Odyssey 2. It's originally Magnavox Odyssey 2, but it got released in Europe. The rights bought by Philips. It was produced. You know what Philips Video Pack looks like. Come on, you know it. But it's really cute because the cartridges have handles. Well, we had some games this week. This is Killer Bees. Killer Bees. Quite a rare one. And as you can see there, let's get the cartridge out there. And you can see those lovely little hand. I do love the fact that these cartridges have handles. Killer Bees, check it out. So as you can see, they're quite basic, they're quite lumpy, low-res games. We've got quite a few. We had some this week in French design boxes, and they look better than the UK ones. This is Munchkin, but it's that lovely red top. It's like the Odyssey, more like the Magnavox Odyssey design. And that, I mean, we're talking about spines. That is lovely, but it does not have a spine at all. The UK issue, and I've got one to compare. Quite a common game in the UK, but that is the UK version versus the French one, and you've got to say that French one, that's popping. That looks like one hell of a funky game. The UK one looks a bit dull, doesn't it? It looks a bit dull. No end card in that one. The same. The cartridges are the same. Number 38. They all numbered as well. It's always nice to have the numbers. So there's it opened up there. But yeah, I love those French boxes, and I thought I'd show that on the show. There's one more video pack, and that is Freedom Fighters. Yeah, Freedom Fighters. There's base action game. What's the number? Can you guess the number? You know, some of you guys will know these numbers off by heart. It is number 39. 39. It's like a Chinese takeaway of gaming. Just give me the numbers. Give me the numbers. Freedom Fighters there for the video pack. Yeah, that's the video pack. More video pack coming soon. What shall we move on to now? What about something really old? And that is this. This is for the Telling. Well, it's a Rotron Telling British games console. This game is called Horse Racing. And wow, you do not find boxes like this. This is so rare. This is a British video game, very early, 1981 I believe. and it's got a slidey box with a little window. Look at that, little window, little plastic window, and there's the cartridge inside. There's a giant cartridge. I mean, this is massive, monster cartridge. You're not going to lose that down the back of the sofa. Huge chunk. It's related, game-wise, related to Telen Color Stars, but different shaped cartridge on the Color Stars, smaller. But I do believe the capabilities of the console are exactly the same as the Rotron, and as there is a Telling branded version of this console. There's the manual. It's got a lovely picture of a lovely bunch of guys just playing it. Just check out those, having a lovely family time around the computer there, playing horse racing. I just thought, oh man, mad. The console will come, not this week, but it's in the testing pile, and when it does, I shall put it on the show. One more, Telling again, boxing this time. It's just gorgeous, and this is actually the instructions. This is low commercial value. I mean low, not commercial, but low presentation style. You know, that is the actual included instructions to boxing. That's not something that someone's just typed up. That is how they came. Just a typed A4 sheet. It doesn't even look like a photocopy where someone was sitting there. Do you remember electric typewriters used to be able to record? They did. You'd be able to write a sentence, press record, type, and then press play, and it would type the page. This actually is true. So you could write a whole letter, record it as you type it, and then put in a new piece of paper, press play, and it would type the same. And I'm guessing that's what they did with that. They just press play, put in this paper, press play. Someone's doing that all day to print out the instruction sheets. I know, it's nuts. It's nuts before printers really took off. Probably cheaper to do than printers. Probably cheaper to pay for ink on your cheeky little typewriter. I need a breather. What's my time like? Yeah, carry on. A little bit more. PlayStation, PS1. This is a game. Grand Theft Auto. Oh, what? Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. You might have heard of it. This is the first one. Grand Theft Auto, but this is a limited edition. A very special gold font version. It's very unusual. We have not listed this. It doesn't seem like we've listed this before, whether it's an old listing that's been overwritten. And the difference is it's got, drop-in stuff. It's got the poster, but it's got the soundtrack on CD in the other side of the case. It's got the poster, it's got the manual, and I just thought, wow, that is a special version, quite rare version of a legend. I mean, that is one hell of a legendary, groundbreaking game. More rare. And what about this one? This is unusual. Monster Trucks. Go! Yeah, Monster Trucks. It's by Persegonis. It's a Persegonis game. At the time, is it Reflections? Because Reflections did a lot of stuff with Persegonis. Psygnosis. I can't even tell the logo. I don't know. It's got a Psygnosis logo. I can't tell the little extra logo. What does it say? This is boring, isn't it? Hang on, I'm reading a book. In the copyright note, maybe it's in the back, maybe it's on the back. Beautiful condition. Psygnosis, it just says Psygnosis, but there is a logo there that's unusual, and it's not so. Anyway, Monster Trucks, an unusual game for it's an early release. When is it? 1997 for PS1. Yes, we were all alive then. And what about this one? There's another one, last PlayStation one, and that is Muppet Race Mania. But the interesting thing about this is a rental box. And this was a weird time. It's a weird time, which a lot of people wouldn't remember, but Blockbuster Video rented out games. And it's a small window, PS1, maybe PS2, where they released a rental version. This is a proper rental-only version. They came in plastic boxes. It was like Sony proving that they could make a proper hardy box that didn't smash to pieces as you opened it. They could have done it, but they just did it for this and got the PlayStation embossed logo in there. And there you go, see, it's on the disc. Rental only, not for resale. They're very different. And I would imagine these are going to be, they're already going up in value, but I imagine they're very limited. A lot of them sold off as ex-rental. This has got some sticker residue in the corner, as you can see, because Blockbuster, they didn't care. They just smother everything in labels. They don't give a monkeys. But very nice. I think a little tip there, PS1 rental games, they're going to be worth quite a lot of money. Okay, what about this? Now this is a handheld game, and this is new. And these are quite new. Not worth much money, but are they nice? This is a Mappy. It's a mini coin-op version. It's by My Arcade. It's only 20 quid, but it's pretty good value, isn't it? It's pretty good value. It's a little coin-op version. They do run the main coin-op. I mean, it's emulation, but it is running the original Mappy. Brand new condition, 20 quid. I don't know. Just thought something different to show you on the show. We've got a couple of them come in. Moving on. Master System. Let's do some Master System. And as I've talked about this a lot lately on the Amiga and the Atari ST, I thought, what's Xenon 2 like on the Master System? Well, it looks like Xenon 2, doesn't it? It still looks like Xenon 2. This one's in very nice condition. Well, we can say that. Look. Oh, someone hates us. Oh, why did you do that? But it's beautiful inside. Beautiful manual. Xenon 2. Classic shooter. What about this? Yes. Wise. Wise. Yes. Wuss. Vanished Omens. You know this. We've shown this game on multiple formats. We had it on the Mega Drive not long ago. Still in stock, I think. Vanished Omens. Highly rated role-playing adventure game for the Master System. Not many games like this on the Master System. They are picking up massively in value. I've lost my right stickers now, I don't know. Wise, Yuz, Wise, Ernie Wise. Filling my table up. I'm filling my table up. More role-playing on the Master System. This is Ultima 4. Ultima. Yes, more role-playing action again. Again, beautiful condition. Well, no, it's got some wear along that top edge of the cartridge. You get this quite often on Master System when they haven't been cared for particularly nicely. But other than that, it is a lovely example. Ultima 4, a lovely game to play. Again, nice role-playing on the Master System. Last Master System game. It's an unusual one. We have not put this in stock before. Walter Payton Football. It's American football. It sells. It's tricky. It's caught between that juxtaposition of rarity and playability. It's an American football game released in the UK. We have no regard. I've said this before. We have no regard for that sport. It's going to be very unpopular. So it's sold in tiny numbers. But it's so rare, but it still doesn't go for particularly massive money because it's so dull. It's dull versus rarity. And in this case, I think dull wins. Which is a shame. It's a shame because whoever this Walter Payton is, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. We don't love his game as much as we should. He's done nothing to us. Moving on, Mega Drive. Yeah, Mega Drive. Now I've got a couple of games here. Thunder Force 2. You know I love a good shooter. Thunder Force 2. Classics Mega Drive. I've probably covered this loads of times. Classic Mega Drive shooter. Yes, but what's it compare like to Thunder Force 3? And that's what I've got next. Yeah, Genesis Thunder Force 3. Let's show that running. Now is it me or is Thunder Force 2 better? Is Thunder Force 2 a little bit better? Graphically, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, they're not, but Thunder Force 4 is better. We haven't got that one. Carry on, Jace, what are you doing? What about this one? Another game that everyone wants. Ranger X. Ranger X. Very highly regarded game for Mega Drive. Beautiful condition. Yes, lovely bit of action shooter. Ah, what a great game. Beautiful condition. Ranger X in stock this week. One more game in the box. Finally, it's getting to the end. It's been a long show, hasn't it? It's been a long show. I'm still getting over the Dreamcast. Let's show this one. Risky Woods. Risky Woods. Now the thing about Risky Woods, didn't it come out on Amiga as well? Isn't it one of those, actually one of the few 16-bit games, computer games that actually made it across to console? I think so. It's very good, very good. Lovely. A little bit of a doggy there. A little bit doggy. Just that corner. But really nice. Lovely game for the Mega Drive.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
The box is empty! Yes, the box is empty. Thank you so much as ever for watching, for keeping me going. I will try to put a show together next week. It's going to be a shorter show if I do it. I might just hold it all out for the week after. It depends how much we're listing. I like to show you some of the new stuff. So on that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for enduring. Thank you for telling all your friends and bigging us up. And everyone who's bigging us up to other people. Trying to build up, 560 followers now. 560. Let's keep growing. Let's keep growing. Share the love. Until next week, Retrogamers.
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
Retro Bloke, checking out.
In 7, you'll be able to take another point of view with this 14-inch colour TV.